everyone, and welcome to another classic guitar video. Tonight's guitar is a 2005 ESP LTD Eclipse EC-500. Now this isn't your typical LTD EC-500. For one, it's an Eclipse, and this is a 30th anniversary edition model. It's a little more special, it's a little better built. It has black chrome hardware and Arctic white and a quadruple black and white binding on it. So it's a little more special, a little bit different than your typical ESP LTD EC-500. I'm preparing this guitar. It's already done, but I'm going to do a real quick freshen up on the setup on it, just double check everything, so this should go relatively fast. But I have a customer that I'm trading this guitar for a 2005 BC Rich Dagger. Now, as you guys know, I'm a huge BC Rich fan. That's my #1 favorite guitar makers, BC Rich. Whether it's a cheap Chinese one or custom shop one, I have many BC Rich. I won't say how many because you probably won't believe me, but I have several hundred BC Rich guitars and basses, even some amplifiers and stuff like that. So I'm trading that for this individual's BC Rich Dagger. His Dagger is satin black. It's kind of a base model, but it's mint condition, absolutely mint. He's upgraded the pickups in it, but he's including the original pickups in it, so I'm going to get an extra set of pickups in it. This guitar is worth about $700. His guitar is worth about $500, so I'm taking a little bit of a loss, but that's okay because it's what I want. It's a BC Rich Dagger, and those are fairly rare, and you don't see them come up in availability for sale or trade very often. And he's including a hard shell case and I think a pedal and a cable and a little tuner and a couple little knickknacks with it. So he's closing the gap, our $200 value gap, a little bit. So let's take a look at this. And I did this guitar a while back, about 2 years ago. But again, I'm just doing a quick refresh on it. So again, it's a 2005 ESP LTD Eclipse EC-500 Anniversary Edition, 30th Anniversary Edition. It has active pickups in it in the EMG 81 and 80. Wait a minute, an 81 and an 85. I'm sorry. Your typical 3-way switch, strap locks, a volume and 2-tone. No coil tap or anything. But it's a nifty little guitar, so we're just gonna test play it and make sure it's all gonna be copacetic for him. Of course, it's out of tune, but yeah, it's definitely out of tune. And I'm just gonna do a refresh on the frets and fretboard and make sure there's no pops or scratches or static in anything. The volume is a little bit scratchy. First tone's good, second tone is not too bad. Now here's a quick little tip to kind of help or even cure a pot that's a little scratchy when you turn it up and down and actuate it. Take your hand and very fast back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth from stop to stop. You don't want to bear down and give more pressure past its stop. You just want to go stop, stop, stop. So you just do this about 50 times or so. And what you're doing is you're just kind of cleaning the contacts inside the pot, if you will. And a lot of times that will help diminish the static or eliminate it altogether. So let's see what that's done for it, if anything. It's almost eliminated it. See, it was scratchy before? Now it's gone. Need I remind you, Vincent, that there is no environment less hospitable
scratchy, but not too bad. We'll do it a little bit more. Let's try it. See, now it's gone. And this one's a little scratchy, the tone, so we'll do that one. We'll turn the volume down and do it. Now let's try it. See, static gone. Okay. Well, that's how you cure a pot that's a little bit scratchy, that's been sitting a while. You don't necessarily have to replace it. You just do that, and more times than not, it helps. So let's pick it up, and I'll show you the back of it. This guitar was bought by an individual brand new in 2005. Played it once, and then he stored it. And that was it. So this guitar is basically brand new condition. It's got the black chrome hardware. So that's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool piece. I like it, you know. It's got one little ding here on the end of it. But you know, I'm sure his guitar isn't perfect, which it isn't. I've seen a few things, little things that are, you know, his is almost mint and this is almost mint. I'll put it that way, you know. So I'm going to detune it and just kind of do my thing to it, you know? I've got a lot of experience now, so why should I be afraid to take the initiative or force my ideas? Okay. But do me a favor, the next time you try to assert yourself, leave me out of it. I hate hot weather. Don't worry, we can cut some holes in the environmental suits. Get the ventilation going. Harry, while you're busy improving yourself, you might try working on your sense of humor. My sense of humor? So this is, I mean, this is almost a 15-year-old guitar, so you can't expect it to be box fresh. But it's pretty darn good, let's say that. Tighten the tuners a little bit more, just because I can. You did that on purpose, didn't you? Okay, so this guitar should go relatively fast. Yeah, relatively fast work on this guitar. I'm not going to bother removing the bridge because just don't need to, because I worked on this guitar a couple of years ago and I've like pretty much virtually unplayed it. So yeah. move my dresser back about 2 inches. I was just looking at it a few minutes ago, and I can move it about 2 inches closer to the wall. I know 2 inches isn't much, but 2 inches is 2 inches. I mean, this room is fairly big. It's 18 foot by 18 foot, but it's pretty full. This room is. Now let me take my before picture. I always take a before and picture, before and after. I mean, I have ones of this already, but it takes 2 seconds to take a picture, so it's always good to do that. Just for shits and giggles, you know? So here we go. Ragtag rag. And there's before. Even after just sitting, you know, air gets to them and kind of tarnishes and brings out oils, natural oils from the wood, and you know, that kind of thing, you know. All in all, it's in pretty good shape. It ought to be. I mean, I've virtually unplayed it. Played it a little bit after I did the sit-up on it a couple years ago. But other than that, it's got a little bit of fret wear. You know, these aren't stainless steel frets. I mean, it's very, very small fret wear. The guy played it for, he says, 1 day, and I believe it because there's no strum marks on the, since this guitar doesn't have a pick guard, there's no strum marks on the body at all. I mean, zero. So, if the guy looks at it and he, you know, says he doesn't want to trade, I'm not going to cry over it. I mean, this is a good, valuable, moderately rare guitar, so I'm not going to cry over it. I mean, I'd like to have his BC Rich, but the only other guitar that he said he was interested in was, of course, a made in USA Gibson Studio. It is a Studio, but I'm not going to give him a $700 made in USA Gibson Studio for a $400 BC Rich Dagger. I'm not going to do that, not unless he wants to put cash on top of the deal, because I'd have to be pretty desperate to want his guitar to take like a $300 loss. So I think he'll be pretty. I think the guy will be pretty happy with the trade. I mean, I know I will. I'll be happy. I do have other ESP LTD EC-500s, so it's not like, you know, I'll be crying when this one leaves. It's pretty good guitar, so I'm more than happy to keep it too until it sells. I've turned down $500 and $600 for this guitar, so that being said, yeah, like I said, the only other guitar that he said he was interested in trading was, of course, a Gibson Les Paul made in USA. It's not a custom shop or anything, it's just a standard faded. But even a standard faded, and mine's in mint, absolute mint condition, is worth, you know, $600. So on a bad day.
You're recommending her. You said you needed cool heads, didn't you? Nobody's had a school perhaps.
Oh, ooh, that really hurt my back. I got a bad back, as you guys know, so. And this is my second guitar tonight, because I have a really full weekend with a lot of people coming over for deals this weekend. So it's like, whoa.
Don't mind me, just going about my routine. Sleep away. What about the lights? What about them? Could we turn them off?
So pretty good shape. shape. I'm pretty happy with the work so far.
Tomorrow, and my next shift is just 4 hours away. Perhaps you should have covered that when choosing your accommodation. Well,
We are just doing a full basic kind of a recap setup on this guitar. I'm going to go ahead and take the bridge off because I just need the workspace. But I'm not going to move it because I don't want to mess with the setup too much. Even though I'm probably going to end up moving the setup. But that's okay, whatever. I'm not going to cry too much if I mess the setup up a little bit. I'm going to have to do some readjustments anyway, so it's not like a big deal. So. So this has got triple or quadruple black and white binding on it. It's got white and then black and then white and then black and then white and then black and then it's got 5, so it's octuple. It's got octuple binding on it. Octuple binding on it. Yeah, I already messed with the setup, so now I'm gonna have to redo it again. I was trying to get away without doing it. I could if I was more careful, but that's alright. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Not a big deal. Again, this guitar is a 2005 ESP LTD EC-500 limited edition, anniversary edition, in Arctic white with octuple 5-ply binding. Active EMG pickups, black chrome hardware. So it goes above and beyond your typical EC-500 that you could find. This just like, say, a regular black one. So it's a pretty neat piece. So I'm pretty happy with the way it's coming out so far. Let's go ahead and polish the top of the headstock because I got to put the strings and the bridge back on so I can flip it over unencumbered without having any issues with messing it up. Put it that way. So we'll just polish that real quick, like. Okay. was surprised when they made these, they'd only put one screw on the holder for the truss rod cover. You know? It's like, wow, it's only held on by one screw. It's kind of strange, a little bit strange, you know. Kind of weird, I guess, you know. It's coming out pretty nice, cleaning. It's not real dirty. Even if a guitar sits in its case untouched, just being exposed to air, it's going to tarnish something. It's going to tarnish the hardware a little bit, or the fretboard, dry the fretboard out a little bit, things like that. So I am just going and kind of cleaning it up a little bit more, so it's got a fresh look for the guy that wants to come and look at it Sunday. He wants to trade me a 2005 BC Rich Dagger for it, which I'm more than happy to trade him for, because I'm a BC Rich collector and aficionado, so I'm all too happy to trade it for a BC Rich. All too happy. Okay, let's check out the, and this is black chrome hardware on the, on all the metal hardware, the tuners, the bridge, the studs, the tailpiece, is all black chrome. Black chrome. If you look at any other typical ESP LTD, they do not have black chrome. They either have chrome or black, but not black chrome. So there is that. Makes it a little more special, if you will. And I like this guy's BC Rich. It's black satin finish. He upgraded the pickups to some, what were they? Seymour Duncan. Seymour Duncan something or others. Matching set. Seymour Duncan. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. Posting on Craigslist, so I'd have to look it up. But so he's got those, and he's also is including the original pickups and a hard shell case and some tuner and other goodies and stuff like that. So just to make up the price and value differentiation between his guitar and my guitar. So because this one's worth a little bit more than his, being that this is a special edition. So other than that, this is a cool piece. If he decides not to trade, I'm not going to cry over it. I've already turned down $500 and $600 for this guitar, so, and it's not like it's an emergency to get rid of this guitar or anything, so yeah. But I would like to have his Dagger, because I'm a BC Rich fiend and I love BC Rich guitars, so I wouldn't mind having his guitar, because it's not too often you see BC Rich Daggers come up in availability. They're, you know, kind of a semi-rare guitar. There's not too many of them around. I mean, I wish it had a Bigsby. I wish it was a Bigsby version, but it isn't. But that's okay. That is perfectly okay. Okay, let's polish the tailpiece, and then we will put back on, flip the guitar over, and see what we need to polish on those. I think that's the extent of the polish on the back. It's just going to be a quick polish of the back and the sides. and then polish the back of the tuners maybe, we'll see. And then other than that, that's going to be it.
That's great. But right now I'm more concerned with little things like, oh, I don't know, say, life support?
Indeed. According to my calculations, environmental systems will cease to function in 2 hours.
You say that like you're giving me the weather report.
Well, I agree the situation is dire, but losing our cool will not help matters.
Oh, yeah.
Where did you pick up that expression?
Mr. Ferris.
Well, there's hope for you yet. Now, how about giving me a hand?
So I love black chrome hardware. Black chrome is one of my favorite things. I don't necessarily like straight black hardware or straight chrome, but I love black chrome. There's just something about black chrome. I've always loved it, whether it was on a guitar or a custom car rim, or something like that. I always loved black chrome. Always loved it on anything. Didn't matter what it was. Didn't matter what it was. Okay, I'm gonna put some tension on the strings because if I flip it over, the bridge is gonna come out. So we don't want that. Make sure your strings are in your string grooves, saddle grooves. You always want to make sure your winds are tight around your string posts on your tuners. And yeah.
Value, 100 years in the making. Every Omaha steak is aged to perfection, custom cut by master butchers, and guaranteed to satisfy. You'll get 4 flavorful top sirloin steaks, 4 savory pork chops, 4 juicy chicken wings, 4 Omaha Steaks burgers, 4 gourmet jumbo franks, and 4 caramel apple tartlets. A $194 value for just $49.99. Order today.
Oh my, I'm gonna have to stand up to do this because my back is hurting. Okay.
If we make a mistake here, we can just do it over. But retirement planning isn't like that. You might not get a second chance to do it right. Personal capital can help. Retirement plan that takes the guesswork out of retirement. Join for free. You'll get free retirement and investing tools. Less than free guide. 65 ways to retire smart. It's packed with tips to help you plan, save, and invest. Join for free at personalcapital.com/TV. I would get muscle cramps usually 4 to 6 times a week. Could be out of my sleep, could be working, and then I learned about this protocol. It's Sarah works for me. I've never had cramp. Anytime, anywhere, very long days. Sarah works for me, and made my work being muscle cramp. Is my choice for preventing and relieving muscle cramps. Get Sarah Works Relief today in stores everywhere.
Before I was diagnosed by my doctor, I didn't know why my body was moving like it had a mind of its own. My eyes blinked way too much, even though I didn't mean to. It turns out I had dyskinesia, a condition that may be related to important medication
string isn't string groove. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna flip this sucker over so we can just give the back a once over. So I want to finish this guitar by 12:15. This is my second, actually it's my third guitar I'm working on today. I didn't stream the first one, just because it was unnecessary. And it was a quick fix, it wasn't a full, setup or anything, so. Excuse me. So this is a pretty cool guitar. I like this guitar. They're pretty neat. The only other guitar that the guy wanted was of course a made in the USA Gibson Les Paul. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna trade a $700 guitar for a $400 guitar. This is not gonna happen. So he said, well, how about this white LTD? And I was like, okay, I guess I could do that. I mean, even though I have $700 on this one, and most people will go, why are you asking too much money for that ESP LTD EC-500? It's a limited, again, it's a limited edition 30th anniversary. So it's a little more special than your typical EC-500. They only made it the 1 year because it's the 30th anniversary for one thing. So there is that. And I think the guy will like it. The guy I'm trading this for. And if he doesn't, I'm not going to cry over it because this is a cool guitar. I'm definitely not going to cry if he starts nitpicking it or whatever. Because there's not much to nitpick on this guitar. There really isn't. This is a 2005. This is a 2005. I'm very much sure I can nitpick something on his guitar. I'm very much sure. If he wants to go that route. And some people are like that, they come and they'll try and nitpick every little tiny little thing on your guitar. Well, it's got a little nick here. Well, it's got a little scratch there. And then use that to knock the price of your guitar down. It's like, yeah, no. Nope. I've had people try and do that. I had somebody try and do that a while back on a Gibson Flying V that I have for sale, and that guitar is perfect. There's nothing wrong with that guitar. Gibson Flying V. He tried to knock me down from $1,200, no, $1,100 to $300, saying he could get a Gibson Flying V anywhere for $300. And I'm like, no you can't. That's a virtual impossibility unless somebody's trying to sell one because they need drug money, or someone's going to foreclose on their house or something that day. Other than that, you're not going to find one anywhere ever for $300. You won't even find just a neck and a body with no electronics, no pickups, no nothing, no bridge, no hardware, no nothing on it. You'll have a hard time finding something like that. So the guy was like, well, I could find them all day for $300. Well, no you can't. No you can't. If you can, show me. Show me. Show me. Go buy them for $300. Bring them to me. I'll give you $400 for them. And you'll make $100. Instantly. No questions asked. I did that. I said that to the guy. Then he stopped replying to my emails. He left. He went away. He probably thought that I was just some sort of shlomo, idiot, fool who just happened to have a guitar for sale or something. And I didn't know my ass from a hole in the ground or something, I don't know. And was trying to pull a fast one. I think that's probably what it was. I mean, you don't contact somebody and offer them $300 for their $1,100 guitar. You just don't. But this guitar is pretty cool, so I'm not going to flounder too much. If the guy says, well, no, I don't want this guitar, I want your Gibson instead, I'll be like, not without cash on top. If you want the Gibson, that's fine, but you're gonna have to give me cash on top. That is just plain pure and simple. You're not gonna trade a made in the USA guitar for a made in Korea guitar. It's just not gonna happen. Not gonna happen today, it's not gonna happen tomorrow. Just not gonna happen. So we'll see what happens on Sunday when the guy comes. You know, he'll either trade me or he won't, and that'll be the end of it. Like I said, I won't cry. I won't cry, and I definitely won't not eat that night if the guy doesn't trade me. I would very much like to have his BC Rich dagger. Very, very, very much like to. I'm sure the guy's probably a nice guy. But when it's all said and done, you know, I'm not gonna give it away. It's got a trade for me, a trade has to be pretty much equal. You know, plus or minus, you know, $50, $60, $75. But if a trade is offset more than like 100, 200, 300, no. Not unless it's just something I have to absolutely have, and it's rare, and they don't come up too often, and it's one of those, I have to have it, and that doesn't happen very often. In fact, the last time that happened was about maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So this guitar is looking pretty good. Again, this is a 2005 ESP LTD Eclipse EC-500 30th Anniversary Limited Edition. It's got black chrome hardware, EMG active 8185 pickups, 3-way toggle switch, volume 2-tone. And that's what this guitar is.
Inogen makes its own oxygen from the air around you, so you'll never worry about running out of oxygen again.
And it is pretty darn cool.
Is lightweight and compact. Plus, it's battery operated, so you can have oxygen anytime, anywhere. Imagine the freedom of doing the activities you love. Spending more time with family outdoors, even traveling again. Call now for your free information kit. There's no obligation. Inogen. Oxygen anytime.
Like I said, if the guy says, well, I don't want this guitar, let me have a look at your Gibson Les Paul, I'll say, I'll trade this for you, but you're going to have to offset it with some cash, or guitar amplifier, or some accessories, or, you know, something to offset it by within $100 of mine. Because I'm not gonna. A trade has to be fairly equal for me to go for it. You know, fairly. Not completely, but fairly. So let's adjust these pickups a little bit.
How are they? Lucky. The backup systems in their environmental suits get their vital functions going. It'll take time, but they'll recover. And him? Aside from his ability to breathe the rarefied air on this planet, he's the exact duplicate of Mr. Myers.
So pretty good. Let's go ahead and plug it in and start the setup on this. We're at 51 minutes. I'm going to try and keep this at an hour. Maybe an hour and 5 minutes or 10 minutes. But let's see what we're going to do on this guitar here.
Can you tell me who you are?
Please, just let me go.
How do I find out why two of my crew have been duplicated?
Captain, you have to believe me. I don't know anything about information. A little change by my experience of the maybe with them. I don't know. Or what? And all I know is that I have to get off this ship and go back into the service. We're ready to try the head first, Captain.
Do it.
What are you doing? Captain, we're receiving an urgent hail. It's from Ensign Kim, the one on the surface.
Put him through.
Please, stop what you're doing.
You know that I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this ship back in orbit.
You can't do that.
Why not?
I'm not sure I understand it myself.
Well, then you're gonna have to help me figure it out. Mr. Chewbacca, on my way to transporter room 1. Arrange a level 7 force field around the platform. Fill it with atmosphere from the planet, and then beam Mr. Kim. Yes, ma'am. Energize. Release minus.
We can't do that. The planet and we're connected somehow. I can't explain it.
I'll say it again. Release the ship.
We need you.
Gateway to 2. They're killing us. They're leaving me no choice.
It's not fair. It's wrong.
Gateway to 2.
No. Please.
Hold your fire, 2. You said you have a connection to this planet. You told me about it like it's alive.
I'll raise the action up a little bit. Half turn.
But not the planet. Silver blood.
Right.
Yes. But it's never been conscious. Never sentient. Before now. Before me and the other.
Tom, Paris.
We're the first. Don't you see? You came here. You showed us.
the compound came in contact with Tom and Harry. It experienced awareness for the first time. Before, there was only instinct. Sound and light and heat. But those two showed us thought.
I'm beginning to understand. The silver blood experienced sentience. And now you want more. You want to duplicate the rest of this.
Okay. Okay, we're back. We are back. And on the attack. Okay, where was I? I have to think a minute. Where was I? Oh yeah, I remember where it was. After tightening that head, it's a little looser than I want. So we'll tighten that up a little bit. Just a little.
Duplicated Harry without killing him. So you don't need our bodies. Only samples of DNA.
Okay, there we go. Tightened up the machine heads on the tuners. Just a little bit because the low E was a little bit loose. Or I won't say loose, it was just, I like my tuners pretty tight. Because then they act as kind of a semi...
Giving out as they're doing, but first, assemble the crew of Cargo Bay 1. I've had the doctor meet me there.
They act as kind of a semi-locking nut, if you will, or locking tuner.
It's time to meet your new family. Take us out, Mr. Barris.
Hi, Captain.
Pretty good. Action's good. I'm going to call that done. I didn't have to do a whole lot to it because, you know, I already put a setup on this about 2 years ago, and I virtually played the guitar once, so it's like the heck is that? So the setup on it is going to be within 90-95% or more, so I don't know why. I'm watching an episode of Star Trek Enterprise here, and it's got the different music on it, so I know what episode this is. I happen to know what episode this is. This is a different season, and a different episode, and a different where the crew is like evil or bad. Pretty good. Frets and fretboard look good. I gave it a quick refresh. I tightened up the tuners a little bit. I repolished the body, the neck, the headstock, front and back. Ever so slight truss rod adjustment. I gave it like, I only adjusted it by like less than 5 millimeters. So I'm actually quite looking forward to and excited about trading this guitar Sunday for a BC Rich Dagger with a hard shell case, a BC Rich case, a cable, a tuner, some picks. I think he said he had one overdrive or grunge or something kind of pedal, heavy metal pedal or something he said, if memory serves. I have $700 on this guitar, and his guitar, he thought his guitar was worth $8. I told him no, because I appraise guitars too, as you guys know, and his guitar was worth about $5 on a really good day. He upgraded the pickups to some Seymour Duncan matched pair pickups. That's the pickups were $200 new. So that guitar with the stock pickups in it is worth about $300. So I put the value of his guitar at $500. Plus he's going to include the original pickups and all those accessories I aforementioned. So all in all, I'm going to get a pretty good deal on it. I might lose $100 on a trade deal, on the trade deal, because as I see it, his guitar is worth about $200 less than this one, but that's okay. I'm not gonna quibble about $200 because his guitar is one that I want, which is a BC Rich Dagger, and those are kind of semi-rare. You don't see too many of them, so I'm willing to quibble a little bit on a trade. So yeah, I'm pretty much done with this guitar. We were into it just at an hour. So I'm probably gonna quit this video, end this video, next commercial on my show, and put this guitar back aside. This guitar does not come with a case. I'm not including a case with it, but he is including a case with his guitar, which is a BC Rich coffin hardshell case. So that's pretty cool to have that. What else about this guitar? What else? Not much else about this guitar. Yeah. Again, it's a ESP LTD Eclipse EC-500 limited edition 30th anniversary edition. So it's a little bit different than your typical ESP 500. It's got the black chrome hardware. Yeah, black chrome hardware and EMG active pickups and 5-ply bound neck binding and body binding and headstock binding, and again the black chrome hardware, so it's pretty cool that way. So that is what this guitar is. Pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with it so far. I'm going to be happy with whatever trade I get from him, from the individual that I'm trading for, so I'm not too worried about that. Yeah. I mean, I actually contacted him on via Craigslist. He had this dagger and he said he was willing to trade. So I gave him my guitar list and said, well, this is what I have, what do you want? And at first he wanted a Gibson Les Paul made in USA, and I was like, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to trade a made in USA Gibson Les Paul for a made in Korea guitar. Just not going to happen. Not going to happen. Not without some cash on top, or you're going to have to buy me like 5 pizzas or something. Because I do have people bringing me food. Because I'm kind of semi-homebound, so I don't leave my home too often for various reasons. In fact, I have somebody I'm doing a trade deal for Sunday, also another person, and I'm trading him for a brand new in the box PV 5150 head, and I'm trading him a brand new ESP LTD EC-500 EC-350 and a brand new Gretsch GT 6522, I think is what it is. A semi-hollow body guitar, and he's bringing me like almost $100 worth of food. I told him do food run for me to make up the difference, and I will be more than happy to do a trade. And so he's going to do food run for me. So that's pretty cool. He's going to do a food run for me for part trade. And yeah. So I'm happy with that, you know. I have a lot of people do food runs for me. In fact, I have a friend who picked up a guitar for me tonight that I've been working on, and he did a food run for me, Wiener Schnitzel. And he does that for me actually quite a bit. He does that for me the most out of everybody that does food runs for me. He does it the most. Because we do a lot of deals together, so he does that for me, and he's happy to do it because he lives in the same city in which I do, so it's not that big of a deal for him to do it for me. So he's happy to do that for me. I'm just working on a tremolo that he gave me to replace the one that I replaced on his guitar. And since I was down a tremolo and I had to use one of mine, he gave me this used one to kind of offset it too. So I will use this on a guitar of some sort at some point eventually. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And yeah. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to end this video because I'm pretty tired, and I'm done with this guitar, so we'll end this video. So again, thank you for joining me on this classic guitar video. Again, this is a 2005 ESP LTD EC-500 limited edition 30th anniversary edition. Quite a mouthful. But it goes above and beyond your typical ESP LTD EC-500 in that it's a 30th anniversary edition, and it's got black chrome hardware and EMG active pickups and 5-ply bound head, stock, neck, and body. So it's a pretty cool guitar. I'm going to trade this guitar for a 2005 BC Rich Dagger on Sunday, hopefully, when the guy comes. I think when he sees this guitar, he's going to flip his beanie about it. So again, thank you very much for joining me on this classic guitar video, and happy guitaring.